What's up, people? This is Clip, Hardcore Casual. Lulu ain't here today because I happen to be in the hospital right now. My sickle cell has gotten a little troublesome, so I had to come in. But anyway, I was just perusing through the comment section of some boxing videos, and something that I hear a lot, a subject that I hear a lot came up, and it was about, somebody was saying how none of the boxers today can hang with the boxers of the 80's and 90's, and that's just something you hear a lot. And I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. Okay, now I'm 45, just for reference. I came up in the 90's. I remember Roy Jones and, Tyson. I ordered Tyson and Holyfield. Both of them fights I ordered. I was in my early 20s then. Riddick Bowe, Holyfield, all the 90's fighters. I remember a little bit of Ray Leonard and Durant, all those motherfuckers, right? Now, I don't remember like the earlier the 80 fighters that well, but I do remember them, right? So, Ray Mercer, I remember all these fighters, man. Razor Ruddock, fuck, shit, Jab Judah, goddamn, what was my man, James Toney, fucking, I got bad memory, I can't, but anyway, I remember, I came up in that era, so, but I don't agree with yeah, can I get, something to drink, please? Yeah, like I don't know, ginger ale will work. Can I have in a cup of ice, please? Thank you, ma'am. But anyway, excuse me. But anyway, yeah, I don't agree with that, man. Like, cause like, think about it. Like, if you just look at any sport, okay? Any sport. Name one sport where the athletes haven't got bigger and stronger, and the sport just got more competitive as a whole than it was back in the day. Like, hell, basketball players, man. Like, it's like football players. They get bigger, stronger, and faster every year. In the Olympics, you see people competing in the Olympics, and every Olympics you get, you see people getting bigger and stronger every year. We went from Mary Lou to Simone Biles. These are like, it's like that's just like human race and just human beings, period. And just regular everyday life and civilization, man. We get bigger, we get stronger with every generation. So I don't know, man. It just seemed like that topic right there, just nostalgia. I think it's people just rooting for the people that they came up with. It's like the old man talking on the block, Oh shit, back in my day I had to walk 15 miles through the snow to go to school. No, no, you didn't. You did not have to walk 15 miles in the snow on top of a mountain to go to school. That's bullshit. You say to make yourself feel good, but it never really happened. It's just like, these fights, we'll never be able to know, period. We'll never know. But just like, let's be real. If you threw a Muhammad Ali, barely weighed 200 pounds, man. If you threw a Muhammad Ali up against a Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder or one of these big ass heavyweights of today's era, I don't know if I put my money on Ali. I mean, yeah, even George Foreman, he did the rope dope thing with George Foreman and shit. That shit wouldn't work with the Tyson Fury. Not saying that he's, that those fighters are better because you gotta measure them against you're only good as what you come up against. So you gotta measure these athletes against the athletes that they were competing against at the time. So, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody, but that's what always happens though. That's how we're built. That's how we develop, and it's just like, I guess natural Darwin. It's like Darwin's theory, natural selection, right? If only the strong survive, right? Then those strong people are reproducing. Their genes are going on, and then people just gonna keep getting stronger, you know. And so it's like, so if you believe that, if you believe Darwin, you have to believe that we just people in general get stronger as the generations go on, and so with the athletes, you know. Yeah, so I don't necessarily know if I believe that, the old fighters are better or with, all the fighters of today, because it's like that. They don't never give any fighter credit, and I don't think that's right. I think these guys, they deserve more credit than what they get for doing what they do, and especially competing in the area you in. When guys were hitting a lot harder, motherfuckers, techniques done changed. Uh, I mean, motherfuckers are smarter, I mean, because, you got guys that's been doing this shit forever, and all that knowledge from back then, it's passed on, and then it gets, shit gets added on top of that, you know. And so that's how we keep progressing as a species. So why wouldn't they be able to beat these guys? Or at least compete with them? I'm not saying that they'll win or lose. I'm just saying to say that they'll get straight blown out and just couldn't compete at all. That's just bullshit to me. Because I think they can compete. Not only can they compete, they can win in a lot of cases. And I'm not being biased against anybody. You know, I'm just keeping it 100. You know, um, and how the 80's and 90's, that wasn't, it ain't like that was that not that long ago. It wasn't, you know, it ain't like we going back to, the 60's and 50's and shit, like, or, but I mean, there's still like, like a person like me, I came up in the 80's and 90's, so it's like, and I'm still young, relatively anyway, pretty young, but still, yeah, I think that they could compete, they could win in a lot of cases, and like it just people just rooting for what they're comfortable with, nostalgia, I guess, just people, basically saying, hey, my guy is better than your guy. But if you look at it and you're honest with yourself and you got a real perspective and about which, and you can look at just life objectively. Okay, just look at life objectively and see it for what it is. Then you got to come to the same conclusion. You know, if you took, one of the NFL team from the day and you put them up against the NFL team from the era of the leather helmets, who the fuck you think would win? Or some real shit? You got goddamn big ass 6'5", 280-pound tight ends running around and shit. Who the fuck was that big back then? Like, that's just like an average motherfucker on the football field and shit down there. You got motherfucking DBs that's fucking bigger than goddamn motherfuckers that had goddamn the linebackers and fucking shit from back in the day. God damn, I mean shit, but anyway, that's just my opinion, man. Drop yours down in the comments section, like and subscribe. We're gonna get back on it, you know. One.